Major fire broke out at the Mechanika plant in Orsk city in Russia's Orenburg region, local telegram channels reported on Friday. The Mechanika plant, a large machine-building enterprise, produces products for the military industry, including artillery shells, components for rocket launchers, and equipment for the oil and gas sector. The fire is said to have been caused by an act of sabotage. The plant building is covered with anti-drone nets. There are no reports of casualties. According to official information, the cause of the fire was the ignition of paint and varnish materials.
Russia is preparing to use a modified rail push trolley to supply its forces in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk with essentials like ammunition, water and food, according to images shared by the Russian Defense Ministry and US military analyst John Hardy. The system, reportedly developed by the 37th Railway Brigade and the 51st Guards Combined Arms Army Logistics Unit, is designed to operate on repaired railway lines in the Pokrovsk area. Footage shows soldiers fixing tracks and loading the trolley with supplies before it moves off autonomously, likely controlled remotely with camouflage and a visible antenna. According to the Russian Ministry of Defense, the trolley can transport over a ton of cargo across distances of up to 50 kilometers on existing railway infrastructure. The simplicity of the system allows it to operate with minimal maintenance and makes it potentially difficult for Ukrainian reconnaissance to detect, offering a low-profile alternative for frontline resupply. This method contrasts with Ukraine's use of more sophisticated unmanned ground vehicles for logistics purposes. Despite its basic design, Russia's approach could prove effective under the current conditions, especially in light of months of intense combat in the region and continued Ukrainian efforts to disrupt Russian supply routes. Rail transport has long played a central role in Russian military logistics. A 2023 report by the US Center for Naval Analysis highlighted that Russia's military rail troops, originally established in 1851 during Tsarist times, are an integral part of this tradition, maintaining and utilizing a vast 80,000-kilometer rail network for both commercial and military use. However, while the trolley itself may require little upkeep, the tracks remain vulnerable to sabotage and damage from ongoing warfare. Additionally, the remote-controlled nature of the system may expose it to disruption by Ukrainian electronic warfare operations, potentially compromising this innovative yet rudimentary supply tactic. The war in Ukraine has become a focal point for military innovation. One of them is the use of video game incentives to improve the effectiveness of the armed forces in the fight against the Russian invasion, writes The Economist. The system ensures that successful drone operators receive new drones before their less effective counterparts. This process is now being modernized with what Mikhailo Fedorov, Ukraine's Minister of Digital Transformation, has called Amazon for the military, a scheme that allows units to buy combat gear with points earned by destroying Russian vehicles and other targets, the article explained. It is noted that the term gamification, which emerged in the early 2000s, is used in many areas, namely from healthcare and customer loyalty programs to education and workplace productivity. Participants accumulate points. Leaderboards, progress indicators, levels and badges are common. In some cases, points can be converted into rewards that go beyond the pleasure of winning as defined by the game, the publication emphasized. Gamification entered the drone war in August 2024, when the government's drone procurement initiative, the Drone Army, launched a bonus system. Drone warfare lends itself well to gamification because all kills are recorded by the same drone cameras used to fly aircraft, and there is already a system in place to register them. In other forms of warfare, claims can be exaggerated. Combatants may not know the results of a mortar round. Once a drone kill is registered, identified and confirmed, it is worth a certain number of points, depending on the military value of the target destroyed. The Economist noted, this means that a drone operator who destroys a T-90M tank with a disposable drone will earn enough points to earn his unit 15 more drones. This system incentivizes operators who seek out high-value targets. At the same time, as the publication writes, despite the fact that Ukraine produced 1.5 million drones last year, there are never enough of them. In particular, the 414th Separate Brigade of Unmanned Systems, better known as the Birds of Magyar, has effectively implemented this system. According to official data, the brigade is now responsible for 8% of Russian armored vehicles destroyed by Ukraine. In April, the unit climbed to first place in the rankings with 16,298 points, up from second place, and has remained there ever since, the report added. As Mikhail Fedorov noted, gamification also shapes the nature of combat operations. According to him, the Drone Army recently increased the number of points for eliminating an enemy infantryman from 2 to 6. Thanks to this, units such as the Birds of Magyar immediately began to kill more infantrymen. According to Fedorov, this led to a doubling of the number of losses among Russian infantry. A later change doubled the points for killing Russian drone operators, making them more valuable targets than tanks. Such changes show how the system can change to suit commanders' priorities. They also resulted in fewer tanks being destroyed, the Economist noted.